Hi, my name's Hannah. I'm a leader in Blandford, and in 2019 I went on a trip to Senegal in West Africa. To go on a gold trip, you need to go on the Go for Gold weekend, which is a really, really fun weekend where you get to meet loads of guiders from across the country who are between 18 and 30. And you get lots of challenges that you need to complete, and you can meet loads of new friends, and it's really fun. Your gold team is made up of 6 people, all in guiding, all aged between 18 and 30. My team consisted of 2 people from Scotland, and then we had people from various other locations across England as well. So we were really good mix geographically from the whole country. It was really good to make friends from across the country. The best bit of my gold adventure to Senegal was going on the G.O.L.D Senegal National Camp. It was 5 days, hot 5 days, being outside lots, but the best thing about it was we actually got to meet not only their leaders who we'd been with up until then, but we actually got to meet their kind of brownies guides and rangers as well, who were also on camp. So that was really good, and we got to have some really great opportunities to meet some of the locals, and we also got to meet some of the Senegalese government ministers as well, which was really interesting. One of the many funny things that happened whilst we were there was the each of the sections, they called them branches, had a different night put on entertainment. And on the guides night, they had campfire where there was lots of singing, loads of dancing. It was amazing. And they decided to play a prank on the brownies and the rangers who were sitting enjoying the campfire, where they got one of the guides dressed up in old potato sacks all over their face, all over their body, and came running into the camp with a machete, which I do not want to do the risk assessment for that one, and ran around to scare all the brownies, and all of the brownies obviously got up and absolutely ran, terrified. But everybody was fine, and it was quite a funny joke, apart from the fact that we didn't know they were going to do it, but we were sat next to the Senegalese national board and not one of them flinched, so we knew it was some kind of joke. What surprised me the most? That is a really hard question, but I think it would be on one of the last days of our trip. We had the absolute privilege of being able to visit an island off the coast of Senegal. It's part of Senegal still. We had to get a little ferry to it, and the island's called Gorée Island, and it's home to the House of Slaves, which was essentially a bit of a hub for where all of the slaves from West Africa, pretty much, were taken before they boarded the ships that took them over to America, the UK, and Europe. So it was quite a hard day to kind of witness that history and see where these people would have been loaded onto the boats to then come to places. And on the list of places that the slaves went to, there were places like Liverpool and London on those lists. So I think shocking is probably more than surprising, and maybe that realisation that kind of our history was actually quite closely linked to that island here in the UK, of all of those people who whose lives were taken to slavery in the past. So yeah, that was really shocking, I would say, rather than surprising. My favourite item purchased was really hard to choose, so I've got it all. So I bought this little basket at an artisan market and I love it. And actually what I do at the moment is I put all my badges in it, which I need to sew on, so it's really useful for me as well, because I normally have a lot of badges that need sewing on. So that's one thing that I got. We also all bought these. They're like skirts really, but you can use them for anything. They're just long bits of fabric. All the Senegalese women tend to wear something similar to this, and they're really cool and really nice, and they're nice to wear back home as well when the weather's warm, and on the beach as well. I got 2 of those. I didn't actually buy this. I found this in one of the hostels that we stayed in under the bed, but it was actually really useful because it kept me cool. It's a nice fan, and loads of people have these in Senegal. Loads of the ladies that we were kind of staying with as well had these, and it was a bit of a lifesaver because the temperature was very hot all the time. And then we got some souvenirs given to us by Guides de Senegal as well. So we got given one of their neckers. This is for one of their regions that we spent a lot of time in. So we got a necker from them, which was really nice. We also got these, which are is kind of a scarf thing that people kind of wore like this. We wore this on the closing ceremony day of camp. Because that was one of the days that the youth minister came to the camp, and it was a bit crazy. All the whole local community turned up, so we all had these sashes on, and yeah, got the WAGS logo on, which was nice. And the last but not least is something that we were gifted. So we were all gifted this when we left, which was kind of a souvenir from Senegal. And then it obviously had our team badge on it. That's the Guides de Senegal trefoil. And then obviously the WAGS badge. So we all got one of these to keep as well, which is a really nice memento souvenir of our trip. The hardest thing by a long shot was the heat and the mosquitoes. I really struggled with the mosquitoes. I got absolutely bitten to death, so much so one day I was walking ahead of the crowd, and it was the time when we were staying with some Senegalese priests, and the priest who was kind of walking behind me actually said to one of our teammates, like, oh my goodness, like, is she okay? Like, what's wrong with her ankles? They look really red and swollen. And we explained to them that it was only mosquito bites, not to worry. And he said he'd never seen anybody get bitten that badly by mosquitoes before. So, yeah, that was me. Really struggled with mosquitoes, and it was hot as well. It was over 40 degrees every single day, and very humid the whole time. The food was really nice. Spicy at times, very spicy at times, and I think actually when we were on the national camp, they actually would portion off some of our food before they put spices in, because they knew that we wouldn't be able to handle the spice. So it's quite often they would like bring our dish out, and then like a couple of minutes later everybody else would get theirs, and I think it was because they were trying to like separate it out before they put the hot spices in. On camp, we ate more the traditional Senegalese way, which is in a large bowl, a little bit like a large paella dish, on the floor, and everybody just eats it with a fork, or the traditional way is with your hands, but we never really ate with our hands. And yeah, we'd all just sit on the floor around this bowl and just kind of communally eat the food that they prepared. It was a lot of fish, and a lot of rice. Occasionally you get things like chicken, and one day we had something called mystery meat, which we still don't know what it is. What did I learn? I learned a lot about how I work within a team, especially when you're hot and you're stressed and you're tired. I learned a lot about how I interact with my peers, and I learned a lot about how challenging it is to live in a place where you don't actually completely fit in. Quite often we would be the only people with our colour skin for miles and miles and miles. So everywhere we went, we were getting a lot of people looking at us. and a lot of people approaching us and talking to us just because we look so different to them. We also struggled with the language, so they speak Wolof in Senegal, which obviously none of us do speak. They have a secondary language in Senegal, which is French, so we were able to kind of make our way using French with some of the locals who also knew French. So it was challenging because we didn't look like them, we didn't fit in, and also we didn't speak the language, so that was definitely the biggest challenge. But I would absolutely go again. It was absolutely amazing. It was an absolute privilege to be able to experience another culture, and it really made me feel connected to guiding around the world. I thought it was really special how we had what one person from the UK set up scouting and guiding, and then all of a sudden it kind of became this global movement. I felt really connected to that, and it was kind of quite an amazing realisation, and a really nice thing to witness, and meet kind of guiding sisters from across the world. Thanks for listening to my stories about my adventure in Senegal. I will put some more pictures at the end of this video for you to have a look at. And I hope you feel inspired to take on an international adventure or a gold trip in the future.
Wow.